Hey everyone! If you're enjoying the coverage of the Pro Play Tour online series, just remember, you can play in one yourself. Every Thursday you can enter our free weekly 64-player tournament with invites to the entire Top Cut. Every Saturday is our weekend championship, where you can enter a YCS-type event with 100% payout and even a cash payout option. The more players, the bigger the prizes. Can't commit time to play in our one-day events? We also host multiple 8-man pods daily, ready to fire on demand on your own schedule. All these events award invites to our free invite-only Players Championship, May 9th through 10th, with prizes supplied by our sponsors. For more information, visit ppgeventmanagement.com and come play with the pros.
And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the final match of the Pro Play Tour Weekend Championship. Maximo, joined by Joseph Rothschild, and we have it down to these two decks, an Adamantipator mirror match. This is something that we highly anticipated was going to happen. We tried to kind of, push it back as much as we could because, it's a combo mirror. I think that's one of the downsides of this, is that sometimes, especially depending on how the way the decks are built, it can be very one-sided, but we will have to see. One of these decks in particular is very interesting, that they're playing a ton of hate specifically for this mirror match, and we're going to see if any of that does actually play out. So we actually get to see it right here with Golem starting off here. You see the Lightning Storm in the main deck off of the Excavation from this Adamantipator researcher. We're going to copy of YuGiOh Guardian to pretty much insulate us from any of Ryan Yu or Carmano's plays. And we're pretty much just off to the races here. Going to use this copy of Phantom Knight's Shade Brigandine, which we haven't seen since like the good old Warrior combo days, to go ahead and extend further here.
Yeah, good game to Golem. A fantastic 2-1. Excited with the finish. But they did win the die roll and find a copy of Kokai Maru Guardian off of the first Excavation. So that's really what's necessary to win the game. Here we're going through the Auroradon portion of the combos. Auroradon, of course, an incredibly powerful card that allows you to extend all the way to infinity. Oh, excuse me. I'm still Eldritch brained. The Link Cross part of the combos. No reason to extend into Auroradon in a deck that's going to extend further anyway. We're going into Link Cross here in order to get Martial Metal Marcher with the O-Lion from deck from the Hauka Fibrax. We'll use the tokens summoned off of Link Cross for further synchro material. And remember, anything synchroed with Martial Metal Marcher is a synchro and a tuner at the same time. This means that the Raptite that will undoubtedly be coming down soon will fulfill that condition.
People were already fearing the power of Link Cross, and I think this tournament has demonstrated just how much power it has added to these decks. Being able to just be another free card you can add in on top of your Hali Fibrax plays is incredible. Getting those 2 tokens, people synchro off into cards like Formula Synchron, but more importantly, I think the unsung hero of this tournament being Martial Metal Marcher.
Yeah, I mean, what the heck? Not only is Link Cross incredibly powerful in Adamantipator, a place where it was expected to be very good, it's good in Eldritch! It's good in everything! And Martial Metal Marcher is largely the reason why. Being able to convert those tokens that can be used for Link summoning into material for really powerful synchros. Here comes the Raptite.
Yep, Excavation of Raptite. We're going to hit a Doki Doki and a copy of Seeker. This Raptite is a tuner because it was used, it used a Martial Metal Marcher as material for its Synchro Summon. We're going to hit this Doki Doki here and just continue to extend further. If you've been watching in and tuning into any of the Adamantipator matchups this weekend, this is pretty much no different than what we've come to expect. What it really boils down to is what the end board these decks can create, and does the opponent have the resources to deal with it? Most of the time, the answer is no, but we'll have to see.
Oh, man. Still throwing shade. Ryan Yu in the chat goes, wait, what the heck? No tuner, Victor Lee. The misunderstanding that happened last round over a similar play. Of course, both these players play Adamantipator and know these interactions. Now that we have a negate on the field, we are free to get rid of this copy of Guardian, going into a Union Carrier. Union Carrier, really strong. Really fun that this card gets to equip a domain lock to your already powerful boss monster.
Yeah, effectively, this is one of the reasons why this deck is so powerful against any deck that relies on the extra deck, and it just so happens that Adamantipator does. You're able to equip a Dragon Buster Destruction Sword to your Borreload Savage Dragon, so not only is your board just filled with negations, you also have the ability to lock your opponent out of using the extra deck, pretty much diminishing any hope that they may have of trying to claw their way back into this game. It's not impossible, but it's very difficult.
I mean, if there's a deck that can do it, it's going to be Adamantipator, which is what makes this mirror, despite the fact that, it's 2 combo decks playing against each other, it makes it rather exciting.
Looking at both of these players' decks, both players, like I said, they are playing, one's playing a more geared build towards if they potentially do lose the die roll for this match specifically, whereas the other player is playing just a streamlined go first, as many pieces as possible. I'm trying to just make as big of a board as I can.
Mhm.
So Gollum is, or Ruben in this case, was the one playing the go second cards in his main deck, like we saw with the Lightning Storm. He won the die roll, so he doesn't even have to use them. But having those cards could potentially be slow him down in creating a powerful of a board as he could have made. But looking at this right now, it looks like he's perfectly fine.
Yeah, this is a little whack. You don't really want to go into Nightmare Phoenix over the course of the combo, but you can't link away this copy of Researcher because you haven't activated the effect of Seeker, and in order to get Seeker onto the field, you need an Adamantipator. Oh, but apparently the effect of Seeker doesn't even matter. Just hit that Dodo Dwarf, go, go, go glove like nobody's business, and that's about the best possible target you could have found.
Oh, for sure, because now we can just link off any number of these, including the Phoenix, into like a 3-material Appaloosa if we so wish. There's still plenty of plays we can do here.
Yeah.
So it looks like we're going to get rid of Researcher, the Seeker, as well as the Phoenix, just as I alluded to. Get that Appaloosa on the board. So now we have negations on the field, 3 of which are monster effect negations. 1 is an Omni negate. None of those effects destroy, though. That is important. Union Carrier still needs to have the effect activated here, which it looks like it's going to. Equip the Dragon Buster Destruction Sword. So now Ryan Yu, Carmano is completely locked out of the extra deck for as long as that card remains on the field.
On board too. How do you feel about that?
I mean, Dweller seems also like a pretty good card in addition to all that, just to deny anything from going down. So, let's just kind of, kick them while they're down.
This is so frustrating. This board is the one that we've seen for the past couple of games now. It resists everything. Even if you remove all of these threats, there's still a Dweller activation you literally can't contend with. But almost everything that would equalize the board can't play through the Union lock that is still on the Savage Dragon.
Still looking to earn your invite for the free Players Championship on May 9th and 10th? Visit ppgeventmanagement.com to learn about the different qualifiers available. From one-day events to play-on-your-own-schedule events, all events offer a buyback or cash option along with a 100% credit option redeemable towards any future pre-order at competitive prices. Grinding and getting paid to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Has never been easier. Play with the most professional worldwide tournament series today and join the online community. Come join us on Discord for assistance, info, and even discussions about future events. Exactly as we expected. Going into game 1 in these combo mirrors, typically the player who goes first, if they manage to assemble any semblance of a board whatsoever, that's going to be enough to force the concession, because domain lock pretty much almost locks you entirely out of the game. But having to play through 4 potential negations, 3 of which are monster effects, in your deck that is comprised of 31 monsters usually, it's going to be pretty difficult. But
so for what it's worth, Golem was able to do that through a bunch of cards that are meant to be played in a list that is going second. Really frightening that this deck can go first so capably while playing like triple Dark Ruler, triple Lightning Storm.
And to be fair, now that we're at the side decks in play, there's going to be a lot more cards that could potentially disrupt Ryan Yu or Carmano's effectiveness in being able to assemble his own board. We already saw he was main decking Lightning Storms, main decking Dark Ruler. And so there's other stuff he could bring into the side deck now to just ensure that Ryan doesn't assemble a board similar in any resemblance to what Ruben just assembled for him.
And here's the mark of a good Adamantipator player, the ability to find Koakai Myru Guardian off of your first search. The Seeker finding that. A Dynatherium on the side of the field for Carmano as well. Enables a potential rank 4 play. We've seen a whole bunch of just free level 4 specials crop up into these deck lists, be it Dynatherium, Madolche, Petiting Sasur,
Kenny, Spirit, Sithana.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely ridiculous cards that nonetheless do everything they need to.
And so now here we go with the link cross portion of the deck, or Compass, as Ryan Yu Carmano calls it.
Name.
I like Compass. I like that better than Pointy Arrow. I forget what he called it last game. Pointy Arrow Machine. Yes, I like Compass much better than that.
I like Pointy Arrow Machine because it's not a machine.
Oh, it's Cyburst. I actually did think it was a machine. But in any case, we're going to go ahead and just start doing some link cross plays now. We have our O-line that we had onto the field. Go for Martial Metal Marcher. Martial Metal Marcher can get our O-line back to the board. Then we can just sync off both the Marcher as well as the token that the O-line created for a Raptite. The Raptite is a tuner. Raptite can fire now. This is also with this Quack Guardian on Ryan Yu's side. Why players starting to not play cards like Nibiru or these other effect negation hand traps, because if they're able to hit a Guakimeru Guardian off of any of these Adamanticators, all those card effects become nullified.
Yeah, it's just off for the remainder of the turn. Like, we've been
Right.
talking about Nibiru a lot, and Nibiru is in a weird position right now where, like, yes, it is very good against combo decks, but this particular combo deck ends on monster negation after 2 summons, and in the unlikely event that it doesn't, the 5 summons that it's done are nowhere near its full capacity. So if you Nibiru, give them a rock token, and then they go, okay, anyway, summon Adamancipator Seeker, then you or Adamancipator Researcher, and continue their combo. I mean, what have you really accomplished?
So we're going to sync up the Raptite, which was made a tuner by the Martial Metal Marcher and the Doki Doki for a copy of Borload Savage Dragon. Equip the Crystron Halley Firebacks from the graveyard for 2 Boral counters. We're going to fire off this Analyzer here. Going to get the Gigas. Do we already have a Dodo Dwarf? We do not. So,
We
but
don't,
Gigas
it doesn't really matter. We just need material for the Union Carrier here.
Absolutely. Or even just rank 4 fodder or Appaloosa fodder. I mean, just there's a plethora of different things we still need monsters for, and Gigas fills that role perfectly.
So from this position, going into Appaloosa just requires extenders in hand or graveyard. But even without them, you can link away the Seeker and the Guardian for a Union Carrier, and then overlay the 2 level 4s for an Abyss Dweller and make a board that probably can't be beat.
Now, looking at side deck here, I want to take a look at the options he might be able to bring in. Obviously, the Quackimiru Guardian has locked out any of the monster effects. There are some cards that he could have brought in for that. But notably, if you look at his side deck, a majority of cards for going second against this deck specifically were actually already in his main deck. The Lightning Storm, the Dark Ruler no more. So interesting that he just main decked the side deck cards that he would normally play for this matchup anyway, fearing nothing when it comes to other matchups, because he's pinned that Adamancipator is the best deck of the format. And considering that we have ourselves an Adamancipator finals, considering the fact that it had the second highest representation, just 1 short under Eldritch, that was apparently a pretty good call. So now we're going to get a copy. And so now we're going to get a copy of Weeping Idol off of this Block Dragon activation, as well as a copy of Analyzer. And now we can itch one of the monsters in our graveyard to get that Weeping Idol onto the board to be able to make it.
You don't actually have the right material for a big Appaloosa play. You have to go into a 2 first, and then you do 2 2-ofs, which is not nearly as powerful.
I think he could potentially get there. I mean, he already has Savage plus the Union Carrier for the Dragon Buster.
We're arguing in small differences in terms of it's likely already won the game.
So he's going to use Carrier now. He's going to equip the Savage with the in hand. Fortunate. Luckily, Carrier doesn't care if it's in hand, because it's an unfair Yu-Gi-Oh card, so it doesn't. I was going to say,
luckily for who exactly?
Right. Luckily for you in this particular instance.
You right now, yeah.
We're going to summon out this copy of Researcher, link off the Linkross, as well as the Quackimiru Guardian here.
Any two perfectly.
Yep, and there's Cerberus. We're perfectly protected by this Savage Dragon here, so we have no fear. Researcher's going to fire off, get a copy of Doki Doki, and now we have 4 worth of material to go into Appaloosa. We've also seen
follow that up with a copy of yeah, we're doing it all at once. Yeah, we can follow that up with a copy of Block Dragon if we so desire. The Cerberus in the graveyard giving us the requisite material for that. Looks like that is what we're going to do, and there's the board.
No Masquerena to go in tandem with this, but I mean, I don't think that matters at this point. We're going to go for Weeping Idol in addition to this.
Maybe we will have a Masquerena.
Do we have enough Earths?
Masquerena anyway. We have 2. We have 2 in graveyard. Okay.
If he has another Earth in hand,
and so Ramona says, "I am prepared for Ruler Storm."
So we're going to see if he is Dweller activated during the draw phase, so that way, if there is anything, and there we go. Ryan, you took that one. This is what happens when you go into these combo mirrors, though. I mean, one deck sets up, the other one can't out it. The other deck sets up, your deck can't out it. And in game 3, whoever ended up winning the die roll, I mean, you're in a very favorable position at that point.
What I liked about the old versions of these decks is that Dark Ruler, Sphere Mode, it did give you a chance to play. Like removing monster negates from the field was often good enough to get back at the Adamancipator player. How on earth do you deal with that board? A lock stuck under a 4,700 attack monster, a Block Dragon that's going to plus you to infinity no matter what, and tag into a monster that can't be destroyed by card effects. An Abyss Dweller that activates in the standby phase before you even get a chance to respond. I mean, what do you do?
I mean, it's so difficult. I mean, even Ryan Yu was in the chat. I'm well prepared for if you have Lightning Storm and Dark Ruler. Like, you
It's
need to
the
have
only
multiple of these. You
it's
need
the
to have everything go right, right? I mean, you need to hope that they don't hit Quackimiru Guardian off of one of these cards, which Adamantipator Seeker is getting summoned by Solemn here, or Golem here. We're going to see. It looks like he's going to let this through. No
is
Guardian.
it a whiff?
Okay. It was not a
Oh,
whiff. It
no,
was a
there's a
Gigas in
Gigas,
there.
okay.
Yeah. So
Uh,
no whiff. Ryan, you was hoping it was a whiff for sure.
a pointer of
But
the Red Lotus, looks like, your old video is paying off here. This was everywhere in Top Cut.
you know, this was one of the other things I was going to talk about. Even with that board that they assembled, let's say the board is less than optimal. Let's say you have the Dweller, or you didn't have like the Buster Lock, or say you just didn't have some piece of this puzzle. If you happen to hard draw a Pointer of the Red Lotus, it doesn't matter what your opponent drew, because you can rip out whatever card they're going to use to break their board for the turn. They're not going to be able to break it, and you just won the game. And there's
Real
no other card in the game that does what a Pointer of the Red Lotus does. I will stand by that.
It helps to think of it in the same terms that you would think of Solemn Judgment. But it is a lot more proactive than Solemn Judgment in that it gives you an unbelievable amount of information.
We're summoning out the Phantom Knights of Shade Brigandine for another level 4, going to Gallant Granite, and then that's going to get us what I presume to be our Block Dragon, and there he is. And at this, effectively can just link both of these off. Needle Fiber if we want. We might want to summon one of our other extenders if we already have them in. So we shall see.
And just linking away here for the Needle Fiber, the Block Dragon in hand just feels like no matter what Ryan Yu does, he's going to have to contend with an unreal combo over the course of this turn. Yeah, it's really hard to identify at what point you can interact. Even the like Dark Ruler Lightning Storm lines that Ryan was so scared of can be circumvented just by putting Savage in defense position. I mean, oh, it's rough.
It's rough. Yep, here comes Link Cross.
Yep.
Now, interestingly enough, there is no Quackimiru Guardian on field. So, if there is any sort of hand trap effect negation, like let's say Nibiru, for instance, we could see that, but we've seen this deck play through Nibiru before, like nothing new.
Yeah.
It could be good enough depending on the rest of the contents of Golems here, but we will have to see.
This second would be okay.
We're gonna go ahead and it looks like we were gonna make
monster.
Yeah, wrong monster. So Martial Metal Marcher should have been the card that we made there. We're going to bring back this copy of O-Lion after the token gets summoned. And then that will allow us to just continue sinking more. We can make Herald of the Arclight for protection at that point. There's just plenty we can do here.
Yeah, and again, the stat line of these two monsters is just fantastic. The token is a 3, the Marcher is a 3. It'll make a Wrap type for 6. It'll extend farther. You get to bring back Seeker. It's just an unreal resource loop enabled by Link Cross. I certainly think, were I Konami, I would have my eye on this card specifically and its interactions with Hauk.
See, here's the interesting thing. In the OCG, Link Cross is actually limited already, but
Why?
They only play one.
It's like, oh darn, you've limited my searchable extra deck card that I can go into at any time. Great move.
Right. Both players also have plenty of time on the clock. I mean, we've pretty much just spent like 10 minutes for each turn, just building a board and then conceding. Interesting line here. We're going to go into Nightmare Phoenix.
Here's where we go into Mermaid. We just need material for Appaloosa here specifically. Looks like we're calling it real quick. Wait up on this, he says.
We might have an Appaloosa come down here.
Oh, we do have it. Nibiru.
Oh, okay. So he had it.
Okay, so that's going to be Link Cross, Nightmare Phoenix, and Seeker. Wow, that's the last time it would have been possible to fire this, but it's kind of powerful. Like, clearly he still has 4 cards in hand and could continue to extend because he has a rock monster on the side of the field, but it's a good start.
That is a 4,000 attack, 1,000 defense token, so it's slightly big. We've definitely seen bigger Nibirus, but it's definitely also easily able to be run over if it would remain in defense. Again, this could be one of those few instances where Nibiru is actually good, depending on the contents of his hand. Signs is a good way to get back in it, though.
So Signs for Seeker, we've already got 3 Earths in the graveyard and a Block Dragon in hand. You know, the extension will continue. The end board will just be less powerful. And that's really what Nibiru does in this deck specifically. It doesn't necessarily win you the game. It does prevent between 1 and 2 negations. And often that's enough. Great. Also had the Researcher in hand.
Yeah, already had the Researcher, didn't even need the Block Dragon to get there. So the extending will continue. We're going to, wow, just pretty much a huge slew of cards here. He put Dodo Dwarf Go-Go Glove to the top, which
Yeah.
alludes to the fact that he wanted that. He has a Gigas Engrave too, so I believe that should resummon itself.
Got to be kicking yourself about the Koakai Mairu Guardian here, though. A little late on the reveal. If that had been the first one, we wouldn't have even have to deal with this Nibiru in the first place.
Right, absolutely. But again, the variance when it comes to Adamantipator in those excavations, we've seen those excavations lose people games in our feature matches.
We saw Raptide whiff twice in top 8.
Yep. So here we go. Raptite's going to fire off now. Doki Doki, there's a Quackimir Guardian if we want one. I don't know if you're really fearing much at this point in terms of the monster effect negation. You've already gotten Nibiru. Nibiru's a hard once per turn. What else could there really be? I don't really think that cards like Ash Blossom are high impact enough to see like side deck play unless the deck is already playing these types of cards. I actually don't even know if Ryan Yu's even playing it at all. It looks like he is. So maybe, I guess, to just protect from anything else that could go wrong.
All right, there's a Savage. And we have material on board for a Union Carrier as well. Putting that in attack position means that it will be nigh impossible to get rid of it, even with Nibiru on the side of the field of Ryan Yu.
Yep, so now we're going to equip that Phoenix, give 2 Boral counters to the Savage Dragon. That represents a negation, a Omni Negate, no destruction, though. We're going to summon this Block Dragon that we added off Gallant Granite earlier in the turn. Then we can link off the Guardian at this point because we have Savage Dragon protecting us.
Oh, yeah, no, the Guardian's inclusion in the combo at this point is solely for its stat line. You know, you want to make a rank for at the end of the combo. You want to Abyss Dweller your opponent. Or have the option to at the very least. We're going to get Weeping Idol, Gigantes, and probably a remaining Adamantipator, so we can have the necessary material to go into Union Carrier and a rank 4. Seeker?
So we're going to go for Seeker,
no.
Researcher, and Gigantes. Does he already have the Idol? He still has a card in hand.
Oh, no, we're just going to use gloves from the graveyard. Of course.
Yes, because he has Gigas on the field. Dodo Dwarf Go-Go Glove can resurrect itself. We have rank 4 worth of fodder on the field here. So we're going to go ahead and use Dodo Dwarf Go-Go and the Guardian. Make our duel. Do we have enough Earths to bring Block Dragon back? We don't.
Reborn.
So that also just pretty much exactly fills that role. We're going to go Raptite, though.
Yep, Raptite is probably the best reborn target. We can go to another A tier, thinking about Dragite.
Dragite?
Whoa, that's really good.
And there we go. So now we have a Spell and Trap negation on the field as well.
This still does lose to Dark Ruler No More, attack my Nibiru in, and then Storm. Oh, we're actually going to Dragite Effect to put the Nibiru back. All right, let's see DRNM Storm or bust.
I mean, I think that's fine because if your board's already established, you don't really care if Nibiru goes bounce back to the hand at this point. Nibiru could threaten some of your cards already on the field since it has a pretty reasonable attack stat. We're going to banish for Gigantes here. Use the Gigantes. Yep, Union Carrier to equip our Dragon Buster Destruction Sword to our Borreload Savage Dragon to lock out of the extra deck. And it's going to be tough.
Rethinking my commitment to collective bargaining right now. There's the Buster Dragon Destruction Swordsman, and that's the domain lock. Targeting IP. No.
There is only 2 Earths in the graveyard, so we can't bring Block Dragon back unless we have another Earth in hand. And we don't have the ability to do so. So we're just going to go straight to...
Dweller now.
And Ryan Hughes just
revealing the Nibiru and admitting defeat. The same board 3 games in a row. And that's going to be it.
Yep, I didn't want to reveal this on stream, but Ryan Yu actually does not play Dark Ruler No More in his main or his side deck.
He never stood a chance.
Yeah, and Adamantipator, congratulations to Ruben for winning the Pro Play Tour Weekend Championship. Going to walk away with a sizable amount of cash. If any of you guys are interested in competing in future tournaments, be sure to sign up and check ppgeventmanagement.com. We run these tournaments every week. I believe the Players Championship is actually next weekend. You can still qualify for that in the daily events that take place during the week. So be sure to look out for those. It was a
and
weekend,
you'll have
Joseph.
To play me.
Ooh, obviously the award on Turbo Eldritch Master here.
Man, I don't even know what I'll be playing. You can't look at this match and tell me that there is an argument for playing anything other than full combo Adamancipator in a world where Link Cross has been released. I mean, we've seen a lot of decks maneuvering new combos, but none have looked as resilient, as impressive, and as consistent as Adamancipator. And that set was just a masterclass in the plays that this deck is capable of.
Yeah, we had a really good top 16. We had some Cinderella stories that didn't come to
Don't
fruition, but
say!
but you know what? It was a good weekend. We got to watch some good Yu-Gi-Oh, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. So, guys, we hope you enjoyed it too. Be sure to tune in for our future streams, and who knows? Maybe someone will be able to find a way to navigate this Adamancipator onslaught or the Empire of the Eldritch. But we'll just have to see. It's going to be
Yeah,
an
PM
interesting
me
format.
if you figure it out, please.
So, guys, thank you so much for watching, and be sure to tune in next time.
Hey, everyone.